lovelies, how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. My name is Mahalit and I am an Ethiopian American artist and I make videos about art in different parts of my life. So today we're continuing the series that I started with on my channel called Painting While Black. And in this series I talk about different topics of being a black artist in America and different topics I think are interesting to commentate on. And so today we're going to be talking about the importance of representation in media and art. So we're going to be talking about that, and alongside that I'm going to be drawing and painting a few characters that I felt represented me as a black female artist. And so yeah, strap in, grab a sketchbook, grab a little glass of tea if you want, and yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. So let's go. Alrighty, so hello. So while I am painting, I'm going to be talking throughout the video about the topic for today. So I wanted to talk a bit about my own experience. Everything is from my own experience and from my own point of view. So take that with a grain of salt. And I'd love to hear about your guys' experience about what I'm talking about in the comments as well, because I'm sure many people will be able to relate no matter what cultural background you're from. So let's get started. So for most of my life, whenever I was growing up, I, of course, like any other kid, you consume so much media, watch TV, cartoons, whatever. And of course, because I am 18 years old, so most of the content that I watched was in the early 2000s. It definitely was not as representative and diverse as many shows are now. Because, so back then, of course, it was like you had your typical shows, like the real life shows like iCarly, Victorious, Sweet Life on Deck, Wizards of Waverly Place, all those amazing shows. Don't get me wrong, those are amazing. But the first, like most of the shows I watched, of course, were majority of white people. So yeah, I never really saw many shows that had people that looked like me or had a similar lifestyle like me in the media that I consumed. And so the importance of representation that I feel like most people who are not of color will, usually they don't understand because they see their own race all the time represented in media, whether that be the bad girl or smart girl or smart person or adventurous and fantasy, like in all genres. In all genres there are white people. But you can't say the same about black people. Like, at least now it's growing more, but of course back then it wasn't really seen as much of an issue to be thought of. Really, the basis of representation, it's so crucial for especially children because it forms how you perceive yourself and perceive your own value as a person, as an individual in the world. And it's just so crucial because not only do you see people who look like you and they're achieving their dreams, they're doing what they want to do, even if it's just like a fantasy world or something, even if it's not necessarily real, if it's fictitious, it still has so much value to a child because you relate so much and you really perceive yourself as that character and you can see they're accomplishing their dreams. I can do that too. And so the first character that I related to so much, I saw myself in her, was Chyna Parks in the show Ant Farm. Please let me know if y'all watched this show because this show was my life. I was obsessed, especially with the main character Chyna. So she's the person that I am painting first. I'm painting the actual actor herself, Chyna Ann McClain, and what she looks like now because she looks like she's such a bad bitch right now. So I was like, I have to paint her with her shaved head. But I'm just gonna be talking about the character of Chyna Parks. So she was she was the main character, which was a big thing. Of course, the black girl is the main character. And she was so passionate, she was driven, she was studious, she was talented, and she was like top of her class and everything. And when I saw that character when I was little, my mind was freaking blown because I never saw a character like this who was like me, who was as studious as I was, because as a child, and I still am, was a very driven person. Most of the time I was like top of my class, studying non-stop and really like extremely focused on my work. And so it was so just refreshing to see a character like that on Disney Channel, and she was accomplishing her dreams. She didn't care what people thought of her because she just continued to push on, and she knew her value in herself. And that's what I really saw in myself. So I'm sure if I ask my mom, she'll say like I was so obsessed with this character. And she just really allowed me to perceive myself as somebody who was of value, of worth, of artistic value as well, and being able to explore my own passions. And I don't have to just be a caricature of what society thinks that Black women are supposed to be. I can be whatever the hell I want to be, you know? I can be a Black artist. I can draw, I can paint, I can do music if I wanted to. Heck, I can do anything. So it was just so fascinating and just so refreshing to see a character like this in mainstream media. She was honestly like probably the first time I actually saw myself in a character, and just the value in that is so priceless, honestly. So yeah, she was the first character in my life that I really saw myself in. So the next person that I am painting is Canary from Hunter x Hunter. And so I just discovered her fairly recently. It was around this year I started watching the anime Hunter x Hunter. If y'all don't know by now, I'm also a huge anime nerd. And I love me some good anime, and so I'm still working my way through the show, so please no spoilers in the comments. So Canary, she only really shows up a few moments, but I really just wanted to paint her because I wanted to show a Black character in anime that is not like a racist caricature like a lot of animes are, unfortunately, and a lot of cartoons portray Black people to be. So Canary, she's a freaking badass. She is the like bodyguard of Killua's family, if you guys know the show. And so she's honestly like so she's so powerful. And so and I love how they kept her natural hair in the show, because if y'all probably know by observing Black characters in media, most of the time we're shown as having like relaxed hair with wigs or something, which is nothing wrong with that, of course. But it's definitely so important to have characters embrace their natural hair as well. Because when I was younger, I would always try to flatten my hair as much as possible all the time. And it's so, just looking back at those photos is so like disassociating, because I just see myself and I'm like, that's not me. Like I was just trying to be a completely different person than who I truly was. Like now I'm so happy with my natural hair and embracing that, but I know if I saw more characters like that in media with just afros and like 4C type hair, I would have been so much more comfortable with showing my own hair. Seeing Canary in that show was really just like just lovely to watch her do her thing. She was like very kept to herself, but she had this aura about her, this energy that was like unstoppable. Like, you know you don't want to F with her. So it was just really wonderful to see a character like that in anime, especially because most of the time it's people with pale complexion, and seeing her as a character was definitely awesome. Just awesome to watch. I don't use that word very often, but yeah, she's incredible. Oh, I forgot to mention, for the Canary painting, I wanted to add like a little bit of an extra touch to it, and so as y'all can see, I wanted to have an idea of what kind of shoes she would wear, because even though like in the anime she's just wearing like simple small boots, but I was like, what if she wore like super thick platforms with like lace socks or something? I feel like that'd be so cool. And so I wanted to just add that little bit there and continue and express that kind of form of badassery, if you will. So yeah. Alright, the next character that I am painting is Garnet from Steven Universe. I'm sure many of you are aware of her character. So, okay, Steven Universe, this show makes me so happy. I feel like kind of a fake fan because I didn't watch the show all the way. I didn't get to finish it. But from the moments that I did watch it, I freaking love Garnet. Like, I used to have an old art account page and I would draw her like all the time, and I loved seeing a character in a fantasy world that had an afro. Seeing a character like that, and she is so like caring and loving, but also so powerful, and just like she has so much like bad bitch energy, you know? Like, it just painting it made me so happy, because I just love her energy. Her confidence is what I aspire to have, honestly. Seeing her, just like, I'm so glad that the creators chose to have her have an afro. She originally was supposed to have straight hair, and I'm honestly glad they changed it so that they could have some variety, some diversity. 4C type hair and afros, or type 4 hair in general, is definitely not as represented as it should be in media. And so yeah, I love Garnet so much. She is just so incredible, and yeah, I don't want to fangirl too much. I want to keep it a bit concise, but yes, I definitely had such a fun time drawing and painting her. Alright, and the next character I am painting is Angel from the show Pose. So I just started watching Pose actually a few weeks ago. It was recommended to me by a couple of my friends, and wow, okay, this show is so incredible. I highly recommend, if you want to learn more about Black queer culture, and especially the Black trans experience in the 1980s, I think that's when the time period is. Yeah, so the show takes place in the late 1980s. It portrays the African American and Latino ball culture in the late 1980s, and showing like this true struggles that trans women had to experience, trans men, all different orientations that weren't largely accepted by society at the time. And it is such an incredible show. Oh my god, I'm on the last episode right now. I haven't started it because I know I'm gonna bawl my eyes out, but if y'all know the show, Angel is one of the main characters that is part of Blanca's house of Evangelista, and so the actor that plays her is actually non-binary, so they go by they them pronouns, but I'll just be addressing the character as a woman, because in the show she is a woman. The character herself, she just doesn't give a shit about anybody, and she's so unapologetic, and just has so much elegance and confidence and power. Like, every step she took, you knew what she was about, and you knew that she was not afraid to shake the room up, you know? She wasn't afraid to take up space, and that's what I really loved about her as a character. And so I really wanted to draw and paint her because even though I know I do have the privilege of being a cis woman, so I can't exactly relate to that experience, but I still wanted to include a diverse array of people in the drawings that I was doing for this video, because I didn't want to do like the same characters over and over again, you know? So yeah, I wanted to include a trans woman into the video. So yeah. I just love this photo of her because she just is so like elegant and confident in herself, and she knows that she's gonna get that top score. Like, I don't know, I just love her. That is why I chose her as a character, and yeah, she's just incredible. I highly recommend the show if you want to learn more about the ballroom culture of the 1980s. So the last character that I'm painting is Shuri from Black Panther, and wow, okay, I cannot say enough how incredible the movie Black Panther is, and how much it just like changed my perspective of action with Black culture and African culture specifically. So as y'all know, I am from an Ethiopian background, and so the amount of times you see your own culture represented in media is like slim to none, honestly. Like, hardly ever. Most of the time, whenever Black characters are portrayed, they are African American. And so you hardly ever see any African characters. Most of the time, they're just seen as like, oh, they have a funny accent. Like, that is not all we are. Like, Africa in general, all the countries are so beautiful. And so seeing Black Panther as a movie for the first time, was so beautiful to see, because it's so often where people, large corporations or media companies, don't see black people as being part of the fantasy culture and like action culture as well, like superheroes. And if I had seen when I was little a black girl who was so smart and intelligent as an action like superhero, yo, that would have changed like so much my perspectives. This is what I'm talking about, the importance of representation, because you just see yourself and your culture and who you are as a person in a character. So Shuri was the sister to T'Challa, who was Black Panther in the movie. So yeah, her character, she was the one who was like behind all of the inventions of the Black Panther suit, and she was creating all of these incredible like innovations and everything. And just a couple hours ago I was reading an article about her and how they are trying to make her into her own movie and franchise, which I think will be so awesome and incredible, because she is honestly such a genius as a character, and I love her sass and her charisma as well. And just the movie Black Panther in general was so important to show people how beautiful African culture is, and how we do have a space in like the futurism genre and like dystopian utopia genre and the action superhero genre, you know? And so yeah, this movie was so incredible, and even just hearing the sounds of my country like just sporadically put into the movie, I was like, I'm good, I can die happy. I'm good. And yeah, that movie is just so beautiful, and I think they did such a great job of portraying all different cultures. And the fact that the movie was set to take place in Ethiopia was like just enough to make a young girl cry. In general, this movie was so incredible to watch as a teenager as well, and just seeing that they are trying to diversify their products and media as a company is so nice to watch. I was just going to stick with the 4 characters that I painted, but then I thought of Black Panther and how much of an impact that had on me as a teenager, and I was like, I have to paint Shuri, because like, yeah, I have to. So yeah, in general, overall, representation, as you can see, is so crucial to someone's upbringing, not only the upbringing, but also as you grow as a person. It doesn't have to be just what you see in children's TV shows or children's books or movies or anything like that. It can be like at any age range, it's still equally as important. And I think also in art as well, in the art community, it's so important for people to diversify the kind of people and cultures that they paint. And of course, everybody still has so much to work on. Like I still have so much that I want to work on in terms of diversifying the people that I paint and the different cultures that I try to bring light to. And so I hope that with this video you guys will take this moment to, you know, paint some Black people, paint some culture, and really just explore more about a background that is outside of your own bubble, and really just immerse yourself in that, because you will find that there's so much beauty in the world around you and outside of you. And additionally, I feel like in the art community there's so much of people whitewashing and trying to erase like racial diversity in art. And so I think it's so important that young people like us really work towards making sure to bring POC creators to the front lines and really showing, supporting those people, those artists, and really making sure that they are supported. Yeah, I just repeated myself, but you get the idea. So yeah, that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my little discussion about these characters, what they mean to me, and if they mean anything to you, then I would love to know in the comments below if anything that I said resonated with you. And let me know in the comments also if you had any characters growing up that you felt represented who you are and you felt seen by them, because I think it's so beautiful to learn more about different cultures and really make sure that you see yourself as a character in media. So yeah, be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a comment, as I said before, if you're feeling ever so grateful, to leave a comment on today's video. I would love to know you guys' opinions on the video, what you guys thought. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at KimmaMiles if you are interested in seeing more of my artwork. Be sure to subscribe for more videos on my channel. I'm releasing a new video every week. I try to release a video around every Friday. And yeah, that is all for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be sure to spread some love today and drink some water. I love you all so much. All right, bye.